What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 11 AG, Chapter 251 Six King's Spear, Amaterasu. The battle between Zoro and Kaku has entered a fever pitch. The two are dripping with blood, and their moves are deadly. In the flash of sword light, the surrounding walls are cut like tofu. Although Zoro was slightly at a disadvantage, when Zoro saw through the enemy's attack, he immediately counterattacked with his remaining health. The battle between Luffy and Lucci was even more passionate. The two punched each other hard, and gravel flew. One of them fought from first gear to second gear, and the other from human form to leopard form. A so-called rubber man, an aesthetically violent animal type, one who is proficient in armed colors, and the other, although he has only preliminary mastery, is the overlord of the sea, conquerors. It seems completely impossible for the two of them to end it anytime soon. The roof and floor on the third floor were almost completely removed. Old Bingshan, who was lying at the door, shed tears of sadness. His house was completely demolished and no one cared about him. What a waste. Lucci's voice seemed to be mocking Khalifa. At this time, Lucci was already undressed, his trousers turned into shorts, and he transformed into a 3-meter-tall leopard print, strong man. The muscles are undulating like mountains, and every inch of skin exudes wildness and strength. Lucci, the cat fruit panther form user, although he became a leopard man, he couldn't kill Luffy in the second gear in a short time because the monkey was too durable. Now Lucci is not as high-spirited as before, instead he is re-evaluating the Straw Hats. I originally thought they were a scapegoating pirate group, but now they look nothing like it. Kaku, whose body was stained red by a knife wound, Khalifa, who was eliminated by Kang several times, and the Straw Hat Boy, who became stronger with each war and was suspected of being a conquerors, all meant that the strength of this pirate group should not be underestimated. Razor appeared. The fusion technique of Shao and Moonwalk has the same speed as Shao, but it enhances the flexibility of its own movement based on shave. When used, it can form a sharp trajectory in midair. Lucci's figure instantly appeared in front of Luffy, and a spear shot out, so fast that it arrived in the blink of an eye. Luffy barely escaped the attack, but what he had to face was the finger gun Huang Lian. Bew bew bew. The finger spear Yellow Lotus attacked like a barrage of cannons, and the sharp claw tips forced Luffy to retreat step by step. Lucci seized the opportunity, turned his fingertips into palms, and slapped Luffy away with one palm. Get ready to evacuate. Lucci's voice came out. At some point Bruno appeared at the wall holding Khalifa, with a shoehorn mark on his face. After hearing the order, Kaku used the Thomas Land kick, and the knives rained down, temporarily getting rid of Zoro's entanglement, and quickly retreated. Lucci did not retreat immediately, but locked his eyes in the direction of Nico Robin and galloped towards her. Because, at this moment, in front of Robin, stood a ninja with green steam all over his body, glaring at her angrily. This is Kang who has just come out of the world in the gate, after forcing Bruno back. If he hadn't opened the gate of view, and used his powerful physical skills to break out of the door, Kang might have been locked up long ago and lost in that strange space. At this moment, once Robin's ability is used on Kang, it will be turned into nothing by the green steam. Looks like he's really angry. Robin, who was holding up the Dark Crow as a threat but kept retreating, thought mockingly to himself. Seeing the unyielding and determination in Robin's eyes, Kang's eyes flashed with hesitation. Just when Kang was hesitating whether to tie Robin up. Kang, be careful. Without Luffy's reminder, Kang had already felt the boss's extremely strong murderous intent. Before he could think about it carefully, Susanoo appeared, and the fiery red bones and flesh began to wrap around him. But, whoosh, so fast. The moment Kang turned around, Lucci had already appeared in front of Kang, using his most powerful secret, the Six King's Spear. Lucci's arms instantly turned into fists, and a wave of will faintly blessed him, aiming at Kang in the skeleton. Before the bones were completely transformed into flesh, the impact that was enough to destroy the mountains directly penetrated the air and rushed towards Kang's chest with an unstoppable force. Click. Susanoo's bones were shattered layer by layer, and Susanoo, who had not yet fully entered his second form, looked so fragile in front of the Six King's Spear. The impact force produced by these 6 fusion techniques is actually several times stronger than that of the shock shell. The original leopard form is several times that of the shock shell. What a jerk. I guess even Shura can't beat him for a second. When you come up, fire the 6 King gun. I'm fishing in your fish pond. It's rude to not reciprocate. Now that we are so far away, it is also an opportunity for Kang. Open black lens bracket Inferno style Amaterasu close black lens bracket. Kang's Sharingan shed tears of blood and consumed a huge amount of pupil power. As Sharingan focused, groups of black flames seemed to appear out of thin air, exploding beside Lucci, covering the sky and the earth as far as Kang's sight. Facing this sudden vision, Lucci felt sweat falling from his forehead like raindrops. Boom. Moonwalk. Kang slid 7 or 8 meters, stabilized his figure, and finally, Susanoo was broken. Kang protected his chest with both hands. Although his clothes were in tatters, he still blocked it. And Lucci passed through the sea of Amaterasu fire, and his shoulders and pants were covered in black flames. What kind of flame is this? Lucci was shocked to find that even if he used armed color cover, he could not extinguish the flame. Kang wiped away the blood and tears with a stern expression. Guess. If you don't leave anything behind today, you will be burned alive. Facing Chi Kang's intimidation, Lu Chi was not afraid at all. He just shouted behind him, "Bruno! Get out!" As Lu Chi shouted, a door opened behind Bruno. Bruno suddenly stepped back and disappeared without a trace. Then Kaku glanced at Zoro and also disappeared through the door. Before entering the door, Lu Chi grabbed Nicole Robin's hair, causing pain to the beautiful lady. At the same time, he made an action that made everyone stunned. He pushed Nico Robin's head toward the flames. Lu Chi, a ruthless man, had a playful look in his eyes, as if to say, "Lift it, or burn her face, you must know the choice, right?" Faced with this threat, Chi Kong gritted his teeth. Mean. Call out. Amaterasu's flame was completely extinguished, and Chi Kong stared at Lu Chi with murderous eyes. You should be lucky that monkey beat you. Rob Lu Chi. Faced with Chi Kang's threats, Lu Chi just smiled. Your abilities are very interesting. Goodbye. Snap. This is. Zoro and Luffy watched CP9 disappear like magic. The sudden change left the two of them still unconscious. Run away, the Menmen fruit is really disgusting. It was Chi Kong who spoke. I thought this was the decisive battle, but I didn't expect that the plan could not keep up with the changes, and Robin was so upset. Puff. Chi Kong, who had lifted the 8 gates Dunjia, spat out a mouthful of blood, his arms kept shaking, and he felt weak and painful all over his body. On the other hand, Zoro and Luffy, although covered in blood, seemed to be in much stronger spirits. When Chi Kong vomited, Zoro was obviously excited and worried. He was happy that he seemed to have caught up with her again, but he was worried about whether Chi Kong could still chase that woman with his small body. Hey, fisherman, you look a little embarrassed, are you okay? Zoro suddenly sounded concerned, but his tone. Chi Kong. I solved a CP9. Question mark question mark question mark. Haha, I see you can't even stand. Zoro mocked. Chi Kong. I solved a CP9. This time, Zoro stopped talking and closed his mouth silently, holding the third-generation ghost as if he was feeling something. At this time, Luffy was breathing heavily and his eyes were full of anger. Tell me. Ninja, what is threatening Robin? Luffy was equally angry about what Robin did. He wanted Chi Kong to give a reason. He didn't believe Robin would be like this. Chi Kong sighed. As expected, what was supposed to come would come. That thing is Robin's nightmare. Anyway, let's gather our friends first. I will tell you all the information I know. Chapter 252 Nami's Wrath, Wan Lei. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Carrera Company below. A huge red nose in front led a group of menacing boatmen, densely occupying the entire square. Ha ha ha. God is really helping me. I will repay you double what you owe me today. The person who spoke was Buggy the Clown, an enthusiastic citizen. At this time, next to Buggy, Arita, who had been hit by Chi Kang's black hammer, was holding 3 unlucky eggs with a sneer on her lips. Cuckoo di Chi Kong, let me see how you run this time. Not long ago, the clown Buggy led a group of people to the downstairs of Carrera Company in a bold and high-spirited manner. At this time, an incredible scene happened. The Straw Hat Pirates fell from the sky and landed in front of the Buggy God tier by chance. This sudden pie made Buggy ecstatic. Should I call you Little Thief Cat or Thunder Gun? The navigator of the Straw Hat Pirates, Nami. Buggy looked at Nami, who appeared at some unknown time with great interest. After a few months, this little girl had changed so much. Nami covered her mouth, her eyes full of surprise and confusion. You are Buggy the Clown. Why are you here? You still have the nerve to say that. Where is my treasure? Buggy was furious. Nami was stunned. Isn't it just to take some of your treasures? As for chasing us all the way. The rich woman Nami looked disgusted. The past is like a smoke, and now the pirates and thieves have become pirates. I didn't expect this stinky pirate to be like a dog's skin plaster, but now that she has money, it's the worst she can do, Nami thought. Regarding Buggy, Nami still has some shadows. And facing Nami's indifferent attitude. Shocked, steam came out of Buggy God Tier's head. Buggy God Tier's anger has materialized. What do you mean by, take some of my treasure? That is my wealth. That is also my dignity. At this time, an enthusiastic citizen reminded, treasure. What treasure? Shouldn't we arrest the Straw Hats and save Mr. Iceberg? When this person said this, Buggy almost forgot about the business. Now he is an enthusiastic citizen, and the KPI is linked to his ship. Your partner is in my hands. Surrender immediately. Maybe Mr. Bingshan is generous and can give me a face and leave you intact. Buggy said. Catching the Straw Hats is his goal, saving the iceberg and getting a bigger ship is also his goal. This time he really kills 2 birds with 1 stone. But what Buggy didn't know was that the secretary he contacted was no longer there. Don't go too far. Buggy the Clown. We are not assassins at all. Faced with Nami's excuse, Buggy the Clown laughed wildly. Haha, don't even try to lie to me, Buggy. However, I still admire your ability. Either you betray them again, join me. I can intercede for you. Ha ha ha, how about it? Isn't betrayal a common occurrence for you anyway? Betray. Buggy's words pierced through the defense in Nami's heart like a sharp blade, and her face instantly darkened, so dark that it was scary. What she had just experienced when she came downstairs turned into firewood, completely igniting her. Let them go. Now, Nami ordered Buggy coldly. Buggy the Clown smiled disdainfully. Are you talking to me? Who do you think you are? Just I told you to let them go. Nami spoke again, her voice getting colder. Buggy the clown frowned. He was acting like a quail just now. Where did this girl get the courage? Why are you talking nonsense to her? Buggy the clown. If she is captured again, are you afraid that the Straw Hats will not submit? It was Erida who spoke. At this time, she had already packed up the others one by one. Boom, boom, boom. Just as the two were confronting each other, a deafening explosion sounded, and the Carrera Company's building instantly turned into a sea of flames. The blazing flames attracted everyone's attention. The boatmen and enthusiastic citizens stared at what they saw in astonishment, their eyes widened. Mr. Iceberg, someone kept whispering, with tension in their voice. The damn Straw Hats. Kill them. Kill them. Everyone was filled with indignation and surrounded Nami with swords, guns and sticks in their hands. Many people also surrounded the three patients angrily. As soon as Nami's weather stick was released, it released circles of thunder and arcs, forcing back the surrounding people. I told you, we are not assassins. Don't you understand? Buggy the clown suddenly had a bad premonition when he saw the thunderous Nami. Sanji. Miss Nami, run. Leave me alone. Usopp. What are you going to do? Don't come here. Kill the white foam star. Chopper. Usopp fainted. Compared to the panic of the three guys, Nami's whole body was reflecting the light of fire at this time, but her body was constantly trembling. What assassin? What betrayal? Nami's voice came intermittently, and Nami raised her hands as if feeling something. Then, her eyes were as cold as ice, and her words revealed anger. I'm so angry now. Don't piss off an angry woman. B**************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** and the thunder of 30 million volts spread towards the sky like a wild dragon. You, calm down, please. What is this person going to do? At this time, the guys below still don't know what they are facing. If Kang saw it, he would definitely be happy, because Nami finally listened to the advice and used his knowledge of meteorology to develop the use of the thunder fruit. The majestic rain clouds brought by the water gods are combined with Nami's thunder fruit ability. The picture is so beautiful. Pretending, Arita sneered, raising a big iron rod and preparing to subdue Nami in one fell swoop. But, boom, in the sky, streaks of lightning pierced the sky, like sharp swords of gods, clearly reflecting the thick clouds in the sky. Immediately afterwards, thunder roared, like the roar of an ancient behemoth, shaking the earth and releasing pressure that could shake the world. Thunder. What does thunder gun mean? Buggy's eyes flew out in shock. Is the growth of the Straw Hats cheating? At this time, Buggy suddenly realized something. No, Arita, don't. Thousands of thunder. As soon as Nami finished speaking, a bolt of thunder fell on the big iron rod, and black smoke arose in the flash of Alita's lightning. Wow. At this moment, several resolute figures emerged from the sea of fire. It was Zoro who was helping Kang with a look of disgust on his face, and Luffy who was entangled with Bingshan, Barry in a car full of breadmen. As soon as the three people appeared, they saw a horrified crowd and familiar figures. Question mark. Luffy. Red Nose. Zoro. The clown that can't be chopped off. Kang. Yalita. What's going on? Boom. Boom. What sound? I saw thunder snakes swimming in the air, seemingly alive and pouring crazily in the direction of Carrera Company, forming a sea of thunder and lightning. This is Nami's. Is there any mistake? Luffy. Kang shouted quickly. Rubber. Protective umbrella. Chapter 253 Cause and Effect. Never give up. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Carrera. Ruins. Are there any wounded? There are still a few buried in the ruins over there. The rescued Bingshan has told everyone the cause and effect of the incident, and everyone understands that the Straw Hats are not the enemy. As for who the real assassin is, no one knows. That woman from the Straw Hats is so scary. The workers looked at the ruins of Carrera Company and no one dockyard, and all took a breath of cold air. Fortunately, the Straw Hats are not the enemy. Before the water gods arrived, man-made natural disasters had already come. Nami's sentence, "Don't piss off an angry woman," is really true. Big Sister. Water City, near the ruins of No. 1 dockyard. The rain was pouring and the waves were roaring. The train conductor at the station conveyed the news. As Kang expected, the train station was empty at this time. The sea train to Judiciary Island left early, and that group of people would not wait foolishly for the time to arrive before leaving. Nico Robbins, Buster Call phobia, Chopper can't be cured, and with Frankie's death, it seems that a trip to Justice Island is inevitable. I'm not afraid of Buster Call. I just feel that Robin doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to lose his freedom either. It was Luffy who spoke. Wow, a huge wave hit the ruins of the dock, and it seemed that even the sea felt his will. Iceberg, Barry, Drunkard Kokura, enthusiastic citizen Clown Buggy, etc. are all surrounding the Straw Hats at this moment, far or near, witnessing the upcoming historic moment together. Kang described the power of Buster Call and the reasons for Nico Robin's decision, and this led to the above scene of Luffy roaring to the sky. There are guys who are more powerful than Smoker. There are so many. The timid Usopp was about to get sick again, and his legs kept shaking. It's not Usopp's fault. When he was Alabasta, one elite lieutenant general almost wiped out the Straw Hats. Now there are 5 of them. When Usopp was positive and negative, Nami suddenly fell to the ground softly, as if she had lost all her strength. Miss Nami. Chopper, come here. Seeing this scene, Sanji was so frightened that he dropped his cigarette and quickly called out to the cutie who was treating others. Chopper hurried forward to check, only to find a relieved smile on Nami's lips. I see. Nami murmured softly, tears welling up in the corners of her eyes. Putting herself in his shoes, she could empathize with Robin's despair and reluctance. Nami felt that if it were him, he might make the same choice. Nami stood up again and exuded a fierce momentum. Luffy is right. We have to tell her that no matter how scary the Buster Call is, we will never give up on her. Nami once thought that the fish man was invincible, and it was his partner who illuminated the darkness in her heart like a ray of light in the night. Now, it's her turn to step forward and do what needs to be done. Ouch. We have to rescue Robin. Chopper suddenly transformed into a strong man, looking up to the sky and roaring. Even Nami said this. Zoro smiled crookedly, Sanji silently lit a cigarette, and Usopp lowered his head in embarrassment and began to attack himself. This is the Straw Hats. They are serious. That thing. Ninja, can you stop it? It was Captain Luffy who spoke. Facing Luffy's question, Kang gave Sanji a cigarette. Have no idea, not to mention that this Buster Call was initiated by Aokiji, given by him coupled with the hardness of this high-end warship and the strength of an elite lieutenant general. I don't know if water style is useful. If Susan was a completed body, with the ability to fly, and with 2 divine weapons, he would have the confidence to kill a mountain with 1 strike, and just crush it violently and be done with it. However, with his limited pupil power, which can barely exceed 100% Itachi, plus the one-eyed debuff, the unformed Crow Tengu form can only be sustained for a few minutes, let alone allowing Susanna to be completely formed. Kang's unconfident answer, but Luffy nodded to express understanding, while Zoro had a, this is normal, expression. We are all human beings. How can we all have fun together if you just move around every second? Kang's lack of confidence didn't make the others back down. It all depends on manpower, and that's it. But the good news is I know a little bit. Kang's next words gave everyone another shot in the arm. A special phone bug is required to activate Buster Call. That thing should be in the hands of CP9's leader, Spandam. Don't forget that I'm a ninja. Assassination is what I'm good at. I can try to nip danger in the bud. Ninja assassination of the agent chief is exciting just thinking about it. Aren't they just afraid of this Buster Call? Since the ninja said so, what else are they afraid of? Then give the order quickly. Luffy, Nami urged. Whether Robin is taken to the Marine headquarters or the Great Prison at the bottom of the Imperial Sea, there is only hell waiting for her. Then, everyone looked at Luffy. At this time, Luffy, as the captain, looked at the huge waves rising on the sea, and finally gave the order with a determined expression. Then, set sail. Target. Judiciary Island. Wow. Huge waves hit again, hitting the dock. What nonsense. Don't you know the situation in the sea now? Didn't you see that the entire backstreet was destroyed? Barry pointed in the direction of a back street. In previous tsunamis, it was indestructible. This time the power of the water gods is unusually strong. Do you still want to sail your boat there? Iceberg, Barry, and Buggy the Clown all think that the Straw Hats are going to die, which is simply nonsense. I don't care. We don't care about Robin. Robin will definitely die. She doesn't want to die. We must save her. The willful Luffy said willfully, but there is nothing wrong with this kind of willfulness. Luffy turned to look at Kang, full of expectation. Ninja, Meili can do it, right? Can Meili's small body carry a ghost? Of course she has to drive a sea train. Kang rolled his eyes at Luffy and said nothing. He secretly looked at Kokoro who was drinking. Why didn't this NPC jump out? Do you want to use Patty's seduction technique? You don't care what these lunatics do, they're dead. Buggy the Clown said without mercy, but in his heart he glanced at the Straw Hat. He took out the work contract given by Khalifa and said to the silent Bingshan. Boss Bingshan, the suspicion of the Straw Hats has been cleared, then it's time to conclude this contract. This contract is related to his new boat. Buggy has to fight for it. Bingshan came to his senses after being interrupted by Buggy the Clown. He took the contract without even looking at it, but turned his attention to the Straw Hats. Judiciary Island is the center and gateway of world government. As pirates, do you really want to do this? Bingshan reminded. Being an enemy of the world government, he hopes the Straw Hats will think clearly. Facing the reminder of the iceberg, everyone in the Straw Hats just stood in a row facing the sea. The meaning was very clear. Just wash it, don't worry about it getting hairy. Seeing this, Bingshan smiled happily. He decided to help the Straw Hats. In addition to Frankie being his junior brother, the most important thing is that Frankie and Robin are both key figures who may be able to resurrect the ancient weapon. Once that thing is resurrected, it will undoubtedly be a disaster for the world. Disaster. He can't fight against the world if he doesn't have the courage, but these pirates can. It would not be an exaggeration to say that the Straw Hats are now on a mission to save the world. Letting pirates save the world is a ridiculous proposition. Bingshan tore up the contract in his hand and said to everyone, see you in warehouse no. 1102, back street in half an hour. Believe me, I have a way. Tear. The clown Buggy's face was livid, the dagger flashed in his hand, and he glared at Bingshan. Old Bingshan. You are going too far. Your Carrera company actually wants to default on its debt. Stop. What are you going to do to Mr. Bingshan? Hurry, Stop him. Everyone was jumping up and down and grabbed Buggy the Clown, and then the key NPC Kokoluo Granny finally spoke. Ho ho ho, Iceberg Kid, I'll drive that sea train. You are indispensable in this city now. Question mark question mark question mark. Sea train. Chapter 254 Nami is generous, the Frank family. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Frankie's house, Chowdong warehouse. Everyone is replenishing their energy. It's rare that Nami is so generous. She bought so much food, and the key is that it's free. As the meat and wine were consumed, Luffy and Zoro's energy quickly recovered. The bandaged man watching this scene was filled with envy and jealousy. Ha, inhuman. At this time, Nami led Chopper out with a bunch of tattered safes. She clapped her hands and caught everyone's attention. Next, our destination is Judiciary Island, so. Usopp immediately jumped out, looking like, I've seen it through, I know. We're going to start selling products at a discount, right? You vampire. Nami rolled her eyes at her best friend, and then what she said next made everyone horrified. All strategic materials, including empty island shells, detonating charms, knife oil, and even hair growth lotion, are all provided free of charge. What? Times N. This guy has changed his gender, but he is still stupid. You're not Nami, who the hell are you? That's right. You are a shadow clone, right? Nami can't be so generous. It wasn't until Nami's eyes narrowed, her thunder flashed, and her identity was proven with each iron fist that everyone felt relieved. Familiar taste. Humph, the wool comes from the sheep. This is just a trick of the capitalists, using occasional kindness to make cows and horses grateful. Kang said, reaching for the exclusive hair tonic. But everyone who thought Nami was just like this was captured by Nami again. Also, change all your tattered clothes. Nami swish and took out sets of new clothes. Each set was high-end and looked like it cost a lot of money. After all, I have to pick up Robin. I'm embarrassed by the ugly clothes I'm wearing. Nami explained. As the only female part-time nanny of the Straw Hats, Nami was worried about everyone. Seeing the mess this group of people would look like after the battle, she personally selected some clothes. If you don't give these people free changes, the clothes will last a lifetime. Whoosh. A carefully folded pure black suit was presented to Kang. Nami said. Kang, this is yours, hurry up and replace the tatters. By the way, I made some changes and I'm not satisfied with solving it myself. Kang took his clothes and touched them casually. There was still the residual warmth of Nami on it, with a smell of orange perfume. Nami, so generous, touched. Buying something for yourself and receiving a gift are two completely different things. As the clothes unfold, the styles and materials appear before Kang's eyes. He originally thought he was wearing a black windbreaker, but he didn't expect it to be a suit. The windbreaker is a thin, sleeveless windbreaker that floats in the wind and makes a hunting sound. The waist edge of the windbreaker is inlaid with metal tabs, which can be expanded or closed instantly to change the shape of the windbreaker. It really suits Kang's taste. Nami, I will be your loyal supporter from now on. With the beautiful jade in front, the top and bottom look a bit ordinary in comparison. The tight-fitting top is made of deep dark fabric, and the half-length sleeve design gives the arms maximum freedom of movement, while the tightening mechanism of the cuffs ensures that there will be no burden in the fierce battle. The black trousers on the lower body are also designed to be easy to move around. The only feature may be that the knees are protected with sponges. Is this to prevent someone from getting shot in the knee during a fight? Oh, and a big bag. This patchwork thread was probably added by Nami later. Although it doesn't match the trousers, but Nami's heart is so touching times two. Just when Kang thought there were only so many surprises, he discovered that there were even accessories. Mask and gloves. The mask is also a semi-covering design made of transparent material, which can not only protect the face from harm, but also maintain Kang's handsome visual characteristics. A pair of gloves has flexible half fingers, and the palms are anti-slip. When Kang put them on, he also discovered a small surprise. There was a small pocket inside the gloves, which was also sewn by Nami. Although for ninjas like him, this pocket is useless, but for ordinary ninjas, it is a weapon to hide their trump cards. It seems that Nami must have checked a lot of information and spent a lot of time on it. Ha, woman. Kang admitted that he was somewhat manipulated by this woman. Then, the direction your blade points to is the direction I am heading. Nami. When everyone made a sound of satisfaction with their new clothes, Nami had already finished changing into a beautiful outfit. The small gray skirt swayed in the wind, and she wore a denim jacket on her upper body. The front button bra was cleverly embellished on her chest, and the button carried a weight that it shouldn't carry. Come and see Sanji. While Sanji and Kang were secretly admiring it. Straw Hat. You bastards. Brother Frankie was captured, right? Sisters Zanbei and Moji of the French family kicked in the door with a group of minions, and they seem to be here to prosecute. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Faced with this sudden question, the Straw Hats were at a loss for a moment and could only choose. Devil's gaze. What's up? Do you want to fight? Luffy, who was stuffing meat into his pocket, suddenly stood up and said seriously and solemnly, we will definitely bring Frankie back. As soon as Luffy's words came out, our Frankie family burst into tears, and tears couldn't help pouring out. No one can stop this person from crying. How can such a big person be scared to tears? No, Straw Hat. We are also going to Justice Island. Sisters Zanbai and Moji burst into tears. We can't travel through the water gods alone, so please let us go together. Hey, hey, hey. Think clearly. Your opponent is the world government. Sanji reminded. The French family's answer was full of desperate determination. It doesn't matter who it is. We have to rescue Big Brother. We are willing to go through fire and water for our eldest brother. Please. Straw Hats. The guys in Frankie's house basically all have similar experiences, and their feelings for Frankie are sincere. It is precisely because of Frankie that these people who had no way to find a job at Carrera Company and lost their life goals were able to regain hope and have a new place to belong. Now, in order to repay this kindness, they are willing to die for it even if the front is a mountain of swords and a sea of fire. In the midst of all the noise, Kang stood on the deck of the Meili, caressing Meili's sheep's head. Mary, we are going to pick up Robin. Just stay here and don't be stupid, okay? Wow, water splashed everywhere, as if in response. Kang patted Meili's sheep head and assured. Don't worry, trust us, we will come back intact, and then let Frankie upgrade you, and continue the adventure of the Grand Line together. Usopp had a panoramic view of this scene, and he was very pleased to see Kang like this. I can meet such a guy who loves Meili, I am not alone. Usopp thought in his heart. At this time, Usopp somehow put on a mask, the same one as the Sniper King in the original work. Brother, let's not let it happen. This time we didn't get into a fight between brothers. Hey, Kang, is it really okay if we leave Meili here alone? Usopp said suddenly. He was very reluctant to be separated from Meili. There were many dangers there. It was not an exaggeration to say that he would die for his companions. Who knew whether he would come back alive? Kang knows Usopp's character. Timid, fearful, and never fails to do anything. He could only comfort this negative guy. I'll ask Mr. Bingshan to do it when the time comes. We just need to bring Robin back. Kang, actually, I still have something I want you to help me with. Usopp suddenly started to squirm like a girl. Kang was horrified when he saw this scene. Go away, I'm not interested in men. Usopp's sad face is defined as winking face. Chapter 255 Shameless Buggy, let's go. Center Street. Captain Buggy, you are not dead. That's right, Captain Buggy, where have you been? These waves are too scary. Kabaji and Mochi, two loyal subordinates, almost threw themselves at Buggy, hugging his thigh tightly, tears streaming down their cheeks, because their backbone was finally back. Whose captain and first officer just disappeared without saying a word. The rest of the Buggy pirates were still dueling over who should be the captain, but the two of them came back. Buggy the clown ignored the two funny men, leaving his 2 feet on the spot and floating to the side of Erida. At this time, Erida was taking advantage of her niche. The first thing this woman did when she woke up was to slick away all the burnt skin on her body, making her skin smooth, tender and elastic. Now her body has fully recovered. However, she was still confused after listening to Buggy's story about what happened next. The Straw Hats are going to slap the world government in the face, for a woman. At this time, Buggy is holding a new contract. Carrera's shipbuilding contract terms. The hostility with the Straw Hats will be temporarily put down for 1 week. For this reason, Carrera Company will build a medium-sized sailboat of about 60 meters after water gods. The supplementary agreement is, if the Buggy pirates are willing to help rescue Frankie, the reward in the contract will be changed to a new 150-meter wave-breaking sailboat. The contract comes with Bingshan's autograph, which is clear. After Buggy analyzed it one by one, he looked at Erida in front of him thoughtfully. Alita, what do you think? Buggy asked. Erida asked Kaido, who was a little distracted, how about we go too? Idiot. Buggy said with a look of hatred for Steel. That is the island of justice, the face of the world government. Are we going to be the public enemies of the world too? Straw Hat has a background. Isn't it normal for Garp to feed Luffy with poop and PS, and wipe his grandson's butt? What do I, Buggy, have? A broken ship, a bunch of idiots, a family with nothing but success, so. All he could accept was not to cause trouble for them now. Buggy is not stupid. Now he is causing trouble for the Straw Hats. That little thieving cat is invincible in this environment. Now, this contract provides a win-win opportunity. Why not buy a boat for nothing? Buggy the clown, what did you just say about me? Erida's face turned dark. Buggy hurriedly raised his hands, sweating and said, No, you misunderstood, my vice captain. Mochi on the side interjected with a look of horror on his face, Judiciary Island. World government, what are we going to do? Captain Buggy, aren't we buying a boat and then looking for treasure? Bullshit, Buggy cursed. Of course we are looking for treasure. Aren't we building a boat now? Everyone is attached to Buggy because of his persistence in treasure. If Buggy the clown dares to go to Justice Island, the Buggy pirates will be disbanded in less than 2 minutes. Taking a salary of 500 yuan and letting others do a job worth 2 million yuan. Are you kidding me? So Erida wants to go, it's just a foolish dream. Buggy the clown, how dare you still become a pirate? What happened to the world government? Erida looked disdainful, how about I become the captain? I just want to be a one piece and let the sea resound with my beauty. Erida originally wanted to provoke Buggy, but what he said next made her dumbfounded. Okay, so now you are the captain of the Buggy pirates. I am the acting captain. You go and bring Frankie back on behalf of the Buggy Pirates. Our big ship will be handed over to you. We will wait for you in the Water City. Of course, Li Ji will accompany you. Niche. Buggy patted Arita on the shoulder and said seriously. You know, if we all go there, Judiciary Island will definitely not be able to handle it. After all, it is the face of the world government. It is not good if it dies. Arita. ODO, how could there be such a shameless person? Warehouse No 1102, in a forgotten corner. At this time, Barry and Bingshan were concentrating on repairing a sea train that had not started for a long time. The shape of the shark on the bow showed that it was not an easy guy to get along with. This sea train was an attempt by Master Tom in the past, but it became his failure. Years have passed, and 12 years have passed. It lies here quietly, like a dusty work of art, and has never sailed to the sea again. The reason why it became a failure is because its brakes were applied, and once it started, it would be like a wild horse running wild, unable to control its speed. Therefore, this sea train has an awesome name, Rogue Sea Train Rocketman. Mr. Bingshan, I have made a decision. I want to ask them clearly. It was the foreman Barry who spoke, and his voice echoed in the empty environment. As if he was afraid of being embarrassed by the iceberg, Barry added, of course, I am acting alone this time and have nothing to do with the Carrera Company. Iceberg. Bingshan remained silent, but his silence was the best answer. Now we really need to unite all the forces that can be united. Ho ho ho, Iceberg boy, this boatman of yours is really not bad. Even though. This voice was mixed with a bit of drunkenness and admiration, which instantly made the heavy atmosphere a bit lighter. Who else could be such a person other than the drunkard Kokoro? At this time, behind her was the Straw Hats who arrived as agreed. Boom boom boom. As Rocket Man started to activate, Granny Kokoluo took a sip of wine and reminded, Pirates, Rocket Man has activated. Don't be pulled down. The members of the Straw Hats stood in rows like dragons, waiting for someone to speak. Set sail. Let's settle the score with them. Luffy roared. At this time, the outside world was stormy and the waves were surging. Woo 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 woo. The sound of the train's whistle filled the waterway next to Dock No. 3. Facing the violent wind and rain, the sea train Rocketman leapt down. Get ready to enter the water. Hiccup. Everyone is ready. Following Kokoro's reminder, Luffy and Chi Kong were shouting excitedly on the left and right of Shark Head's special seats, like fools. Go, Rocketman. This exciting Asan-style train ride is a sea train that I have never experienced before. This is a feeling that Chi Kong, who was a social animal in his previous life, has never experienced before. For youth, for passion, for partners, this is a scene I have thought of in my dreams many times. Chi Kong untied the bandage and let it fly away in the wind. Robin, wait for us, our friends are here. The person our Straw Hats like can't run away. Chapter 256 The Guy with Unknown Origins, Comrade. As Rocketman landed, the huge Blue King's boat jumped out of the waterway. Zanbai rode 2 Blue Kings and used connection bombardment to connect behind the Rocketman. Chi Kong saw clearly that one of the Blue Kings also knew. At this time, Grandma Kokoluo broadcast a notice, which was probably, please be prepared to get hurt, it is impossible not to get hurt. Because after being connected to the track, the speed of the train will increase very quickly. Only after feeling that speed will everyone know why this sea train is called Rocketman. Even though the car was going too fast, it was still a drunk driver. Even though it was a drunk driver, it didn't apply the brakes. This car takes jujube pills. As Rocketman picks up the track that was broken up by the waves. Boom, boom boom, boom 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 boom. Usopp and Chopper hugged each other with bruises and bruises. This is not accelerating, this is simply out of control. And Luffy and Chi Kong are doing free S*X outside. Is this speed achievable by a steam engine? Chi Kong complained and quickly got in. Because the speed is too fast, there is no room for people outside, so there are many people in the carriage now, and everyone is in a mixed mood. In addition to the members of the Straw Hats, there are also sisters Zanbai and Moki, granddaughter Kokoro, Rabbit Cat, Barry, and 2 boatmen who secretly followed them, Dai Lustun and Biplulu. Etc. Zoro said. Wait a minute, there are some unknown people in this carriage. Dalstone and Pipely Lulu. Oh, who is it? Barry transformed into Shark Tooth and shouted, it's you. And you. Zoro turned into Shark Teeth at Barry. Deluston smiled and said, ha 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 ha, Barry, we thought that if we came with you, we might see the enemy who hurt Mr. Bingshan, so we hid in the coal truck and followed. Bipley Lulu pressed down her raised hair, but it popped up from another place. That's right, you'd better explain it to us first. Barry. You know who the real prisoner is, right? Tell us, we are not that slow. We have already guessed a little bit, so we won't be too surprised. One of Dai Luston and Bipley Lulu was instantly killed by Khalifa with one move, and the other was easily solved by Zoro. The 2 of them were stunned from the beginning to the end. The 2 people who woke up only knew that the Straw Hats were not assassins, but no one knew who the real enemy was. Now Barry, who has followed Iceberg and the Straw Hats throughout the entire journey, knows who the enemy is. Now that they were all on the ship, Barry knew that there was nothing to hide, so he revealed the fact that Lucci and the others were world government personnel CP9. However, he turned around. Durustong and Piply Lulu were surprised even to the hair. Barry, #Shen, so you didn't expect it. Then who do you think you are? Mike and Rick from the backstreets. 666. There is really no shortage of treasures in the pirate world. Once they become teammates, these guys immediately become funny. The halo of wisdom is so terrifying. I didn't expect that such a chaotic plot would have such a complete staff this time. Kang sighed. Roar. Chopper translator. Let's have a Pokémon battle, the long-billed bird. Yeah, what's that sound? However, the moment Kang turned his head. Sigma opening parenthesis for all no was shocked. Because he saw a familiar face, this beautiful face was smiling at him. Close eyes, open eyes, turn around, look back. Opening parenthesis D is defined as D. Illusion. It must be an illusion. Whoosh, a kunai flew out, and ended up sliding away. Then, a charming voice came. What are you doing, cool D? Kang. Ah this, enemy attack. Kang was so frightened that he couldn't even speak. Everyone was confused, what was this guy talking about? Ah, are you talking about this ant? Luffy pointed at Arita. Boom, who are you calling the ant? Before Arita could take action, Sanji launched a flying kick at the captain. Daily life, this is daily life. Haha, cool D. Kang, are you wondering why I'm here? Arita was spinning a kunai in her hand, smiling broadly. Don't you know that our two pirate groups have formed an alliance? What? When did it happen? Kang was confused. Forming an alliance. There is something wrong with this plot, very wrong. Nami soon explained to Kang. Before you got in the car, you were still fishing. The duration of the pirate alliance is 1 week. After Nami explained, he whispered to Kang and reminded, the buggy pirates accepted Mr. Bingshan's employment, but only this woman came. It is obvious that she came for you. The love and hatred between Kang and Arita has been rumored by a certain guy. Needless to say, the fault lies with Kang. Under normal circumstances, everyone just takes it for fun. After all, this fisherman's brain is not normal. It should be said that none of the straw hats are normal people. Arita waved her stick and threatened. Do you think I am deaf? Nami coughed twice and said awkwardly. In short, that's it. The grudges have been put aside for the time being, and we still have one more fighting power. No matter how we think about it, we won't lose, so Luffy agreed. After listening to Nami's story, Kang glanced at Arita with sharp eyes. Sitting on pins and needles and feeling at a loss are the best words to describe him now. As defined as D is defined as winking face. Donghai's bullet finally hit him between the eyebrows. He shouldn't have been so naughty at that time. How to escape here? And our Luffy rarely spoke maturely. Whether it's Frankie's family, Carrera's boatmen, or the buggy pirates, although everyone has friction, it's rare that everyone has the same goal. As he said that, Luffy smiled and stretched out his hand. We are all gay, aren't we? Bang bang bang, bang. Arita stretched out her hand in disgust, but her eyes were fixed on a certain scumbag. Kang couldn't stand the needle-pricking gaze. He was about to go to the cab to avoid the limelight, but he bumped into Granny Kokoluo who was coming out sipping wine. Hiccup. You are in good spirits. Sister. At least we have a bottom line. Forget about drunk driving, there is still someone there anyway, what the hell are you doing when you come out of the cab now? Don't look at me like that. Kokura said with a smile. This is a sea train. Just drive it onto the track. It's going at full speed anyway. Even if I want to control the speed, it won't allow it. What you said makes sense. That's right. Meow. Question mark. Why is there a meow inserted? Oh, right. Kokoro suddenly remembered something and said. There's a big wave ahead. It's a bit big. If he is hit by such a huge wave, Rocket Man will be vulnerable. Quack. Hiccup. Nani. Times N. How can you be so calm? Everyone said in unison. Then, Luffy clapped his hands. It's our turn. Comrade. Okay. The sweaty Kang was the first to raise his hand and jumped out. Just kidding. Is this a place for people? Arita's eyes seemed to contain infinite will. Although she said nothing, everything was in her eyes. Usopp. Corporal Chopper, prepare to treat the wounded. Yes, Captain Usopp. Chopper saluted. Chapter 257 Rubber Giant 300 Troubles Magatama Siege Cannon. On the back of Rocket Man, the waves roared and approached like an angry beast. How could there be such a big wave? The Craftsman cannon can't even make a hole. Don't back down. The Frankies. Use that super disintegrator. The so-called super disintegration cannon is something similar to the French giant cannon. The brave boatmen and the French family's artillery attack were like a stone sinking in the sea, having no effect on the huge waves. At this time, Usopp's voice sounded in the wind. Idiot. You need to focus your attacks. Chaotic firing was useless, so Usopp took charge of coordinating the firepower. Kang. Be gentle, be gentle. Your injury is not healed yet. Dr. Chauba said dutifully. At this time, Kang stood on the back of the train, looking at the huge waves, and always felt that something was wrong. The first, water gods, in 1520 was more violent than the previous ones, so it was reasonable for the waves to be bigger. But, there is a wave within this wave, and a wave within a wave. This wave is higher than the previous wave, and what the hell is a triple wave? Entered the wrong copy. At this speed and scale, it is necessary to continuously break through the waves to ensure that, Rocket Man, does not overturn. Continuously braking means that you have attacked enough and can't stop. So it doesn't seem to be possible to rely on Luffy and Zoro alone. What are they going to do? The French family headed by Zanbai looked at the people standing in a row and was very puzzled. Haha, Of course I have to give it a try. Fight with the sky. It's endless fun. Ha. Ha ha. Usopp looks like he has everything under control, but he is also scared. The start is so exciting. If you can't wear it, then you have to. Anyway, don't worry about it. Listen to my orders later and prepare to fire in a coordinated manner. Usopp ordered bravely. Sandstorm. Flames, this time it's such a huge wave. Zoro has 3 swords in his hand, and he is full of fighting spirit. Apart from cutting down thunder and lightning, he has never been afraid. Sanji lit a cigarette and snorted amidst the smoke. You guys beat me to it last time. It seems I have no choice this time. Sanji's inner OS, Miss Nami, Miss Moki, and the beautiful Miss Arita are also there. And this is for Miss Robin. I must be able to do it. I must be able to do it. What's going on with this guy? Zoro pointed at Sanji, who suddenly burst into flames. Everyone is ready. Nami's thunder flashed, looking at the thick rain clouds in the sky and the rolling waves in front of him, and began to calculate the best time. Miss Nami, I'm ready. It was Sanji who spoke. This is a devilish flavor specially prepared recently, which is perfect for Miss Nami. Sanji's right leg is slightly red, and there are endless quotes about dog licking. His hot personality makes him look like a gentleman. Learned. Kang walked out, and at the same time 3 clones burst out of his body. While he was filling the cup, Arita's numb voice came from behind. Can you give me back my weapon? I don't want to be buried in the belly of a fish. Not. Oops, what is supposed to come will come. It seems that Yibangliu is no longer useful. His big, black stick, is gone. Kang expressionlessly took out the mace from his crotch and threw it back. As the huge waves and the people on the train rush towards each other, the distance is getting closer. Now, fire! Usopp shouted. Boom! The sound of the cannon was like a signal. I saw Nami's weather stick waved, and a ball of thunder with huge voltage shot towards the clouds at a precise angle. Sanji. Devil flavor devil's feet. At the same time, Sanji kicked his legs, and a fiery red slash flew out like a knife. That's right. Real Lanji. After learning how to exert force, Sanji put all his dignity on this kick and successfully kicked out an air kick. Boom. As Nami Tianu's stick pressed, a ball of thunder fell down like a dragon. Thunder gun spear of divine punishment. The huge wave at the front trembled, and its momentum weakened by half. Everyone praised. Even Lang is afraid of Sister too. Thunderbolt and air kick hit one point of the huge wave, which was where Usopp focused his fire. With a bang, the middle of the huge wave split apart instantly, revealing a small hole covered in mist, and Rocketman leapt through. Everyone was wetted by the waves and looked ahead. Sure enough, it's not over yet. This is the first level, which is considered an appetizer. The huge waves from behind are rolling in with great force. Only nearly 1,000 meters. The 3 shadow clones' desperate efforts were enough, so Kang himself quickly took a step forward, away from Alita, and inserted into Luffy and Zoro's team. Annihilation. Cutting off thoughts with one sword, a slash of nearly 10 meters flew out horizontally. Murloc Karate Sea split cut, split the sea surface with force. Wind escape compression, shadow clone quickly forms seals, natural disaster level. Sweet home run Arita suddenly penetrated and smashed the watermelon head where the ninjutsu was placed. Deliberate, this is definitely intentional. My head hurts. The moment the shadow clone disappeared, a shock wave was swung out of thin air. This was the high-frequency air vibration generated by the swipe. With a bang, the second layer of waves was cut by a cross, and coupled with Arita's shock wave, a large hole of about 10 meters was opened. Even the sea split open. Forget it, ninja brother, this slender woman is so powerful. Didn't anyone notice that there are 4 ninja guys here? The crowd was shocked again. Then there is only the last layer left, with a wave height of more than 1,500 meters. A huge wave of this level is as powerful as an ant. Is it okay? Fishing guy, ninja, no problem. Zoro, Luffy, and Kang looked at each other and smiled. Kang's fiery red Susanoo rose from the ground, a ball of flesh and blood attached to it, and then a ball of fiery Magatama emitted a dazzling red light in his hand. This is my strongest long-range attack, Yasaka's Magatama. Following Kang's introduction, Luffy and Zoro stood still and made their respective moves. So, how much are 208? Luffy suddenly asked an irrelevant question. 216. Zoro Kaido. Kang complained. It's too long. I can't finish shouting. Then 300. Zoro didn't care, his will was faintly blessing the blade. Kang. Zoro. Come on. After the fist was inflated, Luffy shouted, and the 3 of them exploded instantly. Okay, Captain. ×2. Rubber. 300 worries. Yasaka. The next moment, a huge wave approached, and the 3 of them took action at the same time, combining their own unique skills with the ultimate blow. Rubber Giant 300 Troubles Magatama Siege Cannon. Chapter 258 Lang Po, Kang's Secret Technique. Rubber Giant 300 Troubles Magatama Siege Cannon. Before the sound lingered, a dazzling red light accompanied by a thundering roar instantly tore through all the darkness in front of him. With a bang, the huge waves rolled, and the blades came one after another to cut into pieces the surging seawater. At the same time, Luffy's huge fist in Gear 3 fell to the ground like a meteorite, landing accurately in the center of the huge waves. The moves are complicated and the ingredients are complicated, but everything happens only in an instant. In the eyes of others, it was a shock wave of three forces intertwined, with thunderous momentum, facing the last layer, the huge wave that was thousands of meters high. In the moment before the tsunami came, time seemed to freeze. Then, a thin crack opened in the center of the huge wave. This gap spread rapidly, and finally opened a huge gap in the huge wave. The huge waves brought up the track, and Rocketman, like an arrow that was thrown off the string, took advantage of this fleeting gap and passed through the gap. The last wave is over. This scene made everyone in the carriage scream in surprise, and Zanbai, Barry and others were even more stunned. Where it, did it, we survived, whoa, I thought I was dead. We traveled through Akura Ragna, or the Triadic Wave. Marvelous. Some people cried with joy, some sang loudly, and the air was filled with the joy of surviving the disaster. Okay, you guys need a moment. Granny Kokoluo, whose main ingredient is wine, said, even if she was about to hit a huge wave, she was still drinking. Drunk driving is not scary, the scary thing is that the drunk driver is still a mermaid who can swim. After cheering, Zanba and the others were still frightened. Fortunately, we reconciled last time. A guy of this strength is too scary to be an enemy, but being a teammate is really reassuring. Sure enough, they came prepared. Barry also praised, no wonder they dare to attack the water gods, it turns out, they are not human. It was the first time that the perverts in the pirate world called him, not a human being, and Kang felt very happy. No one can stop us from saving Robin. Luffy, who was hugging a pillow, shouted to the sky and began to crazily stuff his body with meat. After listening to Luffy's words, Kang was thoughtful. Now that the threat is gone, it's time to try to make contact with Robin's chest. Although Robin took action against her partner, who made her the beauty and partner. The Isle of Justice is the end of everything, Robin. Your partner's determination and courage can make you look back. If you still persist in this way, you will really be tied up. Thinking about it, Kang's eyes instantly became sharp. Although it is a pirate world, sea escape cannot always be used. Kang was surrounded by the straw hats and avoided the sight of a certain woman. What? Can you give Miss Robin a message? Sanji was shocked after hearing this and quickly left a message. Fisher, tell her, just say, Miss Robin, how can I forget my love for you? Luffy raised his hand. You said that when she comes back this time, the captain will punish her by not eating meat for 5 days. Usopp. Idiot. Robin doesn't like eating meat, just like not drinking afternoon tea. Chopper. This is Usopp's medicine. Help me ask him if he wants to take it. Zoro. What I want to say is, pirates without the captain's consent are. As the lightning flashed, Nami raised his fist, and everyone fell silent for an instant. Kang, tell her. Just say that we are coming to find her. We will not give up no matter what. I know. Let me ask about the situation first. Kang Kaido. Psychic technique Dark Crow. Everyone. It turns out to be Dark Crow. Just Ling Ling Ya. Of course it's not that simple. Aboard the Smoky Tom ahead. They should be able to leave the island safely, right? Dark Crow. Robin petted the bird and smiled somewhat self-deprecatingly. I didn't expect that as a devil's son I would be in a dilemma because of my partners. If it was before, she could escape no matter what the situation was, it was because she was alone. You can betray others or use others as a shield. But after meeting the Straw Hats, Robin's temperament completely changed. Now she really can't abandon everything and run away. Dumb. The Dark Crow called twice to comfort Robin. As a tree hole, it knew best. Nicole Robin ignored the crow of the Dark Crow, but fell into memories facing the rainy glass window. Recalling every moment with the Straw Hats, although the time was short, it was very warm. Luffy's idiot, Chopper's innocence, Usopp's cowardice, Nami's money crazy, Sanji's gentleman, Zoro's seriousness, and the weirdness of bird poop coffee. Her life seemed to have changed the moment she got Luffy's straw hat, and the thing that impressed her most about the Straw Hats at that time was the bird shit coffee. At that time, Kang was still bald, and he wanted to tie her up as a partner. She wanted to laugh when she thought of the scene of Binky, her Baroque car at that time, being fished. Recalling the time before the rain banquet, Robin suddenly remembered the famous saying before the rain banquet, the person our Straw Hats like can't run away. Is it possible? Impossible. Robin shook his head and shook off his thoughts. At this time, dumb. Dark Crow screamed twice strangely. Robin just wanted to stroke Murkrow for a while, but... Boom. Robin felt his arm suddenly loosen up, and the Murkrow was gone. And on her chest, a strange chakra technique flickered for a moment, then disappeared without a trace. This is a coordinate-like thing. Every time the psychic beast is summoned, this chakra technique will be left at the location where it originally disappeared. This spell can be space coordinates or physical coordinates, and its function is to return the psychic beast. This is one of the reasons why the contract requires chakra. Of course, only one such coordinate can exist. Peas. Adding a setting is just a bit of nonsense. Robin, who noticed the disappearance of the Dark Crow, frowned slightly and murmured, a ninja method. No wonder you haven't been afraid of my threat. Robin looked out the window, and the face full of reluctance and confusion was reflected on the glass. Her fate has been determined. There is a high probability that she will not die immediately, but it is certain that she will be unable to control herself. In this case, it would be better for Dark Crow to leave. Then I'm really alone now. When Robin was feeling melancholy, her chest began to swell, a numbness came, and she made a strange sound unconsciously. Dumb. Dark Crow appeared again with a cute look on his face. Robin's mouth opened wide, full of doubts in addition to the contradiction of losing and regaining. Dumb. At this moment, the Dark Crow spread its wings, turned into a V shape, opened its mouth, and spit out a puff of old smoke, which gathered around the body and never dispersed. What are you doing, Murkrow? As soon as he finished speaking, Robin's pupils suddenly shrank because this cloud of smoke, with the Dark Crow as its core, actually condensed into a human shape. No. How is it possible? Nicole Robin covered her mouth and almost screamed. However, anyone would be surprised to see a dramatic transformation into a living person. Secret technique: Dark Crow Clone Technique. The so-called Dark Crow Clone Technique uses Dark Crow and smoke as the core. In fact, the principle is similar to water clones, insect clones, etc., relying on the chakra medium to condense the body shape. Dark Crow is a psychic beast bound to Chi Kong. With its obedience and smoke, it can act as a chakra medium, but it is very unstable. Chi Kong had tried this very early in Xiluobu village. It's just that this time the situation is a bit special. While resonating the chakra, the clone technique can be completed at the same time by using reverse channeling to return to Robin's side. This is a combination with ninjutsu, super combination ninjutsu, which is also a super long-distance condensed form. Chapter 259. You are not alone. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. The smoke turned into a handsome man dressed in black, with long hair like a waterfall, a windbreaker and a one-eyed mask, Chi Kong. Not bad, it's taken shape. Chi Kong felt his body and his excited voice came. However, due to various reasons, the body inheritance situation does not seem to be optimistic, about 5%, and the status is in a mess, so it is better to forget about fighting. Chi Kong snapped his fingers at the confused Nicole Robin next to him. This silly girl was still acting like swallowing eggs. The moment Robin came to his senses, he shouted a silly question that he would never have asked before. What's going on? Why are you here? You guess. Faced with such a ridiculous reply, Robin took a deep breath and made a starting gesture. Chi Kong hurriedly waved his hand to stop it, and lowered his voice and said, "Don't make trouble, this body will dissipate in 10 minutes at most, let me finish." Perhaps because she discovered Chi Kang's weakness, or wanted to hear what this bird poop coffee had to say, Nicole Robin put down her hand. So you can still show up like this. The ninja's methods are really unexpected. Normal. Compliments to Nicole Robin. Chi Kong only felt back. The rational sister Yu was back. He naturally picked up the coffee in front of Robin, of course he didn't want to drink it. There is no other way, it's time to face off against Sister Yu again, you have to be strong. The heat of the coffee rose, Chi Kong raised his eyes, cast a cold gaze through the rim of the cup, stared at Robin with full force, and spoke slowly. First, we took another sea train and chased you from behind. This was decided unanimously by everyone. Wait a minute. As soon as Chi Kong said this, Robin was like a kitten whose tail was stepped on. Didn't I make it clear to you? We have broken up. I will not come back to you. Sister Yu's heart was complicated and contradictory, she was moved and frightened at the same time. She didn't even care about why there was a sea train and directly asked. Chi Kang's clone was almost shaken away by Robin's yelling. No, calm down, why not keep your voice down? Do you really want everyone in the car to know? Chi Kong looked serious and reminded. Nicole Robin, you'd better keep your voice down. That guy named Lu Chi is extraordinary. Don't hurt us. How long are you going to pester me? Robin continued to question angrily, his emotions already out of control. Entangled. By the way, Robin, I told them what Buster Call is. Buster Call or world government. We don't care. Chi Kang's main focus is to answer questions that are wrong. Robin was stunned on the spot when he heard Buster Call. He couldn't believe that Chi Kong even knew about Buster Call. Since you know, why could it be? Robin was startled and blurted out, can you solve the Buster Call? Robin didn't believe that Bird Shit Coffee had this ability, otherwise he wouldn't have brought them close to being wiped out with just one lieutenant general. Chi Kong shook his head. I can deal with the person who launched the Buster Call, the commander of CP9. Robin said angrily. Idiot. Then you are still here. You will die. Since you know Buster Call, don't you understand? Killing Spangdom is useless. Without Spangdom, Kuzan, CP9 and Marine, as long as she is still there, Buster Call can still target the Straw Hats. Chi Kong retorted. It's you who don't understand. Nico Robin, we are not so weak that we need to sacrifice our friends in order to survive. You underestimate us too much, and you underestimate Luffy too much. The captain's backstage is very hard. I'm afraid of dicks. After the Buster Call incident, a certain old man came to the Water City platform in person. There was no way he had a protective grandfather who was so willful. And Aokiji's Buster Call may be intentional, in order to let Robin see the Straw Hats clearly and let the Straw Hats understand Robin, this is the love from the old father. P.S. The bullshit author's point of view. Robin covered her head and gritted her teeth. She was numb. These fools wanted to break into Justice Island for her. This was completely contrary to her original intention. Is it possible to let them go back? Tell me, ninja. Robin's eyes flashed with hope, and she asked Chi Kong. Facing the somewhat relaxed Robin, Chi Kang's answer was. Luffy said that after he kidnaps you, he won't give you any meat for 5 days. Zoro said that pirates cannot leave without the captain's permission. Sanji said he can't forget love. Chopper said to give you Usopp's medicine. Usopp said I won't give you afternoon tea. Nami said she would never give up on you no matter what. By the way, for you, she gave us free drinks, free supplies, and free clothes this time. Saying that, Kong gestured angrily at Chakra's condensed clothes. And Kong pointed to himself, I cannot miss you in my dream puzzle, Nico Robin. After saying that, Kong looked at Nicole Robin and asked, this is what everyone wants to say to you, so do you think it is possible? Ignoring Kang's anger, Nicole Robin fell into silence after listening to Kang's words. Seeing Robin purse his lips and say nothing, Kong thought for a moment and comforted. Wait, Nico Robin, everyone is here to pick you up. You are no longer alone. You already have a partner. Partner. At this moment, Robin felt as if she had been struck by lightning. She looked at herself in the dark, tears bursting from her eyes. As a person who has been on the run for 20 years, this word is so strange, but as a historian of the Straw Hats, this word is so familiar. For a sinful person like her, can she get this kind of thing? Just like fish living at the bottom of the sea, can they really see light? Robin has been alone in the dark world for too long. From the moment she had to enter the darkness, she has never been exposed to the light of the outside world. What supports her going forward is the burden of historical truth that is pressing on her, and her mother's wish for her, stay alive, Robin. And what Zoro told her, somewhere in the sea, there must be some friends who belong to her. She has been waiting for too long, like a fish with degenerated eyes. Although she is stinging and uneasy under the sun, but it's really warm under the sun. She also wants to live. That's Buster Call, Robin whimpered, like an insecure little girl. Your chances of survival are so slim, why are you so stupid? Facing the sudden sobbing Robin, Kong was a little at a loss, and his mind was full of. It's over. Why is the girl crying? What should I do? Don't cry, we're not afraid. It's okay. I definitely won't eat it, we won't eat Buster Call. Kong doesn't know what to say or what to advise. Even the Dark Crow can't pin it on her head. Should I pin it on my own? This is a bit inconsistent. Nicole Robin, what are you yelling at? Came an impatient voice from outside the carriage. Then Robin's crying stopped suddenly, and he quickly wiped away his tears. Kong looked at Robin, said a word of lip language, and then turned into a dark crow wrapped in smoke. Chapter 260 Listening to the Laughs of 10,000 Fishes. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Aboard Rocketman. Roar. Let's duel. Long-billed bird. I will give you 5 limbs. Tweet. Are you F*** G done yet? Rubber. 300 pounds of dog. Ah, Laguna is finished. The 2 foremen, Frankie's family and a group of kindergartners had a great time. The halo of intelligence is so terrifying. But why does a certain woman seem not to be affected at all? Hey, I have been doing good deeds throughout my life, why did I end up like this? Facing Arida's gaze, Kong sighed inwardly. At this time, the unfamiliar memory suddenly returned, and Kong frowned instantly. As a fisherman, my character is not good enough. Kong suddenly stood still, with the big pole in hand, and resolutely climbed onto the front of the car. Then let's practice fishing. After hanging up the bait, the angler threw a rod with confidence. That's right, I got the special bait 8 pieces. The fishing line drew a perfect arc in the air and disappeared into the wind and rain. The rainstorm was pouring, the wind was strong, and the waves were swelling. Kong had a fish feeling that there must be a big drift. Thump thump thump. A graceful figure arrived behind her, her eyes as sharp as a knife. Sister, it's not like that. I'm hiding from the front of the car. Are you poisonous? Kong was just about to say, pull down the road, when the fishing rod sank suddenly, followed by a strong pulling sensation. There is an interface for something. Regardless of whether the sea train murder incident would happen, Kong calmed his mind, like an old monk in meditation. For the forced appointment, physique directly gives me this feeling. Kang's fisherman's gaze penetrated the dark sea. This is the Poseidon type, Luo Fei with fat head and tiger stripes. The volume of this small Poseidon is 5 times that of the sea train. It is conservatively estimated that it starts at 250 meters, which is quite a challenge. Alita, don't come close. Kang's serious voice came. I will give you an explanation of our affairs, but is it okay for me to accept this challenge first? In the violent storm, Kang's figure suddenly became taller. Arita frowned slightly, sensing Kang's seriousness. Her steps stopped, and so did the big stick in her hand. HMPH. I want to see what you are going to do. Arita snorted coldly, with a trace of curiosity flashing in her eyes. Arita was temporarily fooled by Kong, but the real test has just arrived. As a burst of great force struck, Kang's chakra gathered at his feet and he held the pole with both hands, as steady as an old dog. However, Kong, as a fisherman, seemed to have forgotten one of the most important issues. What he stands on is no longer the solid earth, but a sea train speeding across the sea. The power released by the fishing technique is enough to shake mountains, but it is unbearable for this fragile steel behemoth. Not good. At this time, the sea train under his feet actually deflected under the huge distortion. A series of panicked voices sounded in the carriage. What's going on? Why does it feel like the car is about to overturn? What happened outside? Hey, did the fishing guy go fishing just now? Wait, no way. Except for the guys from the straw hats, no one else knows how scary the angler is. Just when the train was on the verge of losing control, the big spinning wheel in Kang's hand popped out and began to roll the line rapidly. The huge force suddenly released, but Kang did not dare to relax at all. Handsome guy, come down the mountain. Hold on. Boom. With a loud sound, Kang jumped up like an arrow from a string. When he landed, he injected all his strength into the train under his feet, which was enough to stabilize the derailed train. Zoro revealed his head and shouted at the back of the train, "Hey! Fishing guy, what the hell are you doing? That's a Poseidon down there." Suoda felt a huge breath when he saw it, and his forehead was sweating. Of course, Kang also knew that he was a Poseidon, and he was unwilling to abandon the pole, but if he used fishing skills, Rocket Man would definitely overturn. At this moment, he was in a dilemma. At this moment, Luffy climbed onto the train and looked at Kang, who was constantly unwinding the line, with golden light in his eyes and a seductive voice. Kang, the fish this time is super big. Hurry up and use that move. As he said that, Luffy made the action of opening the sky with one fish. Luffy's words made Kang's heart speed up involuntarily. An impulse burned in his chest, and at the same time a voice sounded in his heart. Come on, fishing fellow, abandoning the rod is a shame for a fishing angler. What do you want the old men to think? How do you want those anglers who would rather die than surrender throughout the ages to think of it? What? You said Poseidon type. Nami's horrified voice sounded in the carriage again. As the electric light flashed, Nami's voice came from Kang's side again. Kang, stop it immediately. Do you want the whole car to be buried in the sea? Nami's words were like drums in the evening and bells in the morning, pulling Kang back from the abyss of desire. At the same time, another voice sounded in Kang's heart. No, fishing fellow, do you want to abandon your friends for the sake of your own selfish growth? If you do that, you are not a real fishing fellow. Close black lens bracket. Partner. Just when Kang was about to grit his teeth and give up, a strange voice broke into the depths of his soul for no reason. A fisherman is just a frog in a well, he doesn't know how big the underwater world is. Question mark question mark question mark question mark. What a fat thing. Such mocking words. Could it be from the fat-headed tiger striped Luo Fei? Huh, I seem to hear something. Luffy looked confused. Kang was startled. Can you hear it? By the way, Luffy seems to be able to listen to the sounds of all things when he sees and hears things to a certain stage. Wait, what do I mean? When a fisherman reaches a certain level, he can listen to the mockery of 10,000 fishes. Kang was instantly furious. Xiao Luo Fei actually dared to ridicule. What can be tolerated by scholars? Kang's forehead began to smoke, and he held the supreme fast rod tightly, preparing to give the tilapia a glimpse of its color. Seeing that Kang was obsessed, Nami immediately warned, I told you to stop. You can't catch this fish. Seeing that Nami was about to take action, Erita stopped in front of Nami with a big stick. I said, let him come. Erita's voice was unquestionable. You don't understand what's down there, you're going to die. Nami's thunder flashed, and he was about to cross Erita to punish Kang. People who eat melon. Ah, Tyrannosaurus and Big Sister, it seems they are about to fight. Sanji bit his suit scarf and distorted his shape. Damn fisherman. He made two beauties quarrel. There are no fish in your fish tank. Sanji said it. At this time, Kang's voice came, unusually calm and confident. I can do it. Nami was about to retort, but Luffy stopped Nami and said firmly, trust your partner. Nami. Luffy felt Kang's determination. What reason was there to stop the man from fishing? The captain spoke, and Nami was helpless despite all her reluctance. Finally, she gritted her teeth and lowered her thunder fist. For a partner in this state, her attacks are ineffective. Then, everyone in the straw hats appeared on the roof of the car speechlessly. As long as something goes wrong with the fishing guy, they will step in to help him wipe his A*. Dr. Chopper on standby spread his hands. There is no way that all the guys in the straw hats are sick. Being addicted to fish is also a disease. Chapter 261. One person forms a group, fishing group. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. At this time, Kang fell into Wu Diao. It is almost impossible to catch such a big fish without disturbing the normal movement of the train. However, the persistence and imagination of anglers in fishing are often beyond ordinary people. Now, Kang has figured out a way. Kang took a deep breath. Multiple shadow clone technique fishing heavenly group. 4 shadow clone burst out of the body. Little Luo Fei, how dare you do whatever you want? The 5 Kangs said in unison, which was shocking. Bang 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 bang. As a burst of smoke dissipated, 4 figures slowly stepped out of the smoke. They are Princess Alabasta, Vivi, Ladyboy, Patty Big Wave, Original Baroque Ms. Valentine, Makita, CP9 Black Stockings Lady, Khalifa. Including Kang's body, there are 5 people in total. Kang formed a group by himself, a fishing group. The reason why Kang summoned his clones was because he wanted to accumulate a thing called Fishing Man's Power, to increase his burst, which required the assistance of other fishing men. This trend was born from the courage of fishermen to fight for the big fish and risk their lives. There are many ways to use the position. The most common one is to use multiple poles to fish together, but Kang only has one pole now. What he wants to use is relay. The 5 people used high-intensity aerial fishing skills continuously. There was no pulling or controlling the fish, but a pure burst of power, and the last fishing rod was fatal. Fishing skills cannot be used continuously, which is a huge burden on the fishing guy himself, but fortunately, Kang has mastered the 8 Gates Dunjia, which can theoretically support him to complete this feat. This is the ultimate combo that Kang came up with on the sea train. At this time, some people have never seen the world. It's here. The transformation technique of red demonic eyes Khalifa. Barry, a straight man with a red face and thick neck, said duplicity. Why does she always change into a woman? Immoral, nondescript. The others, led by Zanbai, had nosebleeds and raised their thumbs at Patty. This kind of pervert, even my eldest brother is willing to be defeated. Okay, Patty and the fishing guy, please go away, thank you. It was the old pervert Sanji who said this. Compared to the other fallen comics, our Arita seems to be unhappy, gnashing her teeth. Why not me? Kang. I don't dare. I don't dare. Fishing Tiantuan V's fat head tiger pattern Luo Fei. Old man, I'll come first. With that said, Patty took over the huge rod and was ready to show off his skills. Ouch. Patty let out a deafening roar and his muscles began to expand violently. Patty pulled hard, and the spinning wheel seemed to be frozen. Then he rose into the air and swung. The fishing rod was thrown into the sky like a wild horse. Fly, my little baby. The 13th fishing of 18 fishes the flying monkey's fishing. The wrestling value increases rapidly. 1%, 2% until it stops around 7%. If Mother Earth had deceived him, this number would have been much higher. Now that the fisherman was in the air, his explosive power relied entirely on the muscles and physique of his upper body. Old Biao, we must kill it. Patty gave Kang a wink in the air and fell towards the sea at an alarming speed due to the reaction force. Very tragic. This courage to face death gave Kang great power. Everyone. Oh my god. My eyes. I seem to have a new understanding of my old cousin's fishing skills. Vivi sighed as she jumped up, stepped on moonwalk and flew towards the big fast rod. Everyone. Why do you want Vivi, a beautiful girl, to do such a thing? Fatian is just the beginning, Wuji is the right path. The 7th fishing of 18 fishings Fatian Wuji fishing. I saw the spirited girl Vivi gripping the big fast rod, spinning her wrist like lightning, and the fishing rod instantly turned into a super speed rotating propeller, rushing higher into the sky with a whooshing sound. At this time, the fat-headed Luo Fei underwater was so dizzy by the strong rotational force that he couldn't even tell the difference between east, west and north. This is the fishing technique of lowering fish. At the same time, the wrestling value on the big fast pole began to soar crazily, from 7% to 20%. It seems that Fatian Wuji fishing is really the best choice to deal with this situation. Background sound. Sanji, your nose is bleeding, stop watching. I can't hold it anymore. The next step is up to you, old cousin. Vivi shouted weakly and gave Kang an encouraging look. Leave it to me, I receive your encouragement. Kang's power has further improved. Then, it's up to me. Michita's figure suddenly appeared, and she also jumped up, planning to perform a special fishing skill. As Vivi turned into a cloud of smoke, Michita, who was spinning at high speed, grabbed the fishing rod, and then she held the fishing rod and spun rapidly like a small top doing somersaults. The original fishing method of Zhongyushiba fishing donkey rolling. Donkey rolling is a derivative of Fatian Wuji fishing. The principles are similar, but in terms of explosive power, donkey rolling is more than a little bit stronger than Fatian Wuji fishing. I saw the wrestling value rising rapidly, from 20% to 37% in just 2 seconds. However, as the kinetic energy of the donkey rolling disappears rapidly, the giant's struggle becomes more and more intense. This is the disadvantage. It cannot last long. 37%, 36%. Old cousin, I'm a little dizzy. You have to work harder. Show your heart. After saying that, Michita also turned into a fart and disappeared. Don't worry, I'm already on fire. Then, it's my turn. Khalifa, wearing a black silk skirt, adjusted her glasses and jumped up. The fishing techniques used by Khalifa are very simple and crude. Okay, old watch. Khalifa has an upside-down golden hook. Veal kick. While exposing her underwear, she unleashed more than a dozen kicks in 1 second. The powerful explosions hit the big pole with huge force. Sanji with a nosebleed. Isn't this my move? Miss Khalifa uses it beautifully. 18 fishes are dropped and the 10th fish is caught. The rooster lays eggs. The wrestling value had dropped to 33%, but it jumped to 47% because of this kick. This explosive force caused Luo Fei in the water to be dragged toward the water with great force. The big fast pole was kicked from the air to the side of the train with huge force. At the same time, the wrestling value was still rising slowly at a rate of about 1% per second. Khalifa's voice came. Old man. I caught it. We must win. For the glory of the fisherman. Kang stabilized his dizzy body and stretched out his thumb. I can catch this fat-headed Luo Fei. After a set of silky combos, as the shadow clone disappeared one after another, Kang received various negative feedback from the shadow clone such as pain and fatigue. Using so many fishing skills continuously, his body was almost overwhelmed. However, the encouragement and sacrifice of the fishing friends are not in vain. At this time, the momentum of the fishing guy has reached its peak. 8 Gates Dunjia, Gate of Life. Open. Chapter 262. The Desperate Fishing, Sister Ta takes action. Green air waves spurted out, the body's fatigue disappeared instantly, and waves of chakra energy that overstretched the body began to emerge from the body. The pain disappears, and the strength and energy are there. Kang jumped up, and while catching the big pole, he held it up with both hands. The huge energy made his hands become extremely thick. Mega mode. Wow. But this is not enough. Without the help of Mother Earth, everything can only rely on the muscles of your upper body, and you must also pull the big fish to a height high enough for the sea train to pass. Kang in the air has only one chance. Success or failure depends on this. Open black lens bracket Susanoo close black lens bracket. Lower fish and catch 18. The chakra materialized, the ribs and hand bones formed rapidly, and the skeletal arm also grabbed the big fast rod. Just wash it, don't worry about it getting hairy. Even with these arms, I will still catch you. Pick you up. As the fishing guy's momentum exploded at this moment, Kang in the air shouted loudly. Burn one's boats. At this moment, time seemed to slow down. In addition to the roar of the train, there was Kang's roar as he used his fishing skills with all his strength. The wrestling value is close to 50%, which instantly explodes. The huge swing of the pole was as rough as James's violent dunk, and even created an air shock wave in the air, dividing the sea with one blow. The 17th fishing of the 18 fishings true burning the cauldron. The words 100%, 105%, and 117% keep appearing. As long as you are fully charged. No matter you are a human or a ghost, you cannot escape the fate of being fished. Woo! Damn fisherman! A wailing sound echoed through the sea, and a huge tilapia emerged from the seawater on the left side of the train. Its mouth alone was as big as a carriage. This is not so much like catching a fish as it is catching a building. Ah, is this G reasonable? I don't know if it's reasonable or not, but. So big. Everyone looked forward, their eyes widened in shock, their mouths opened wide enough to fit an egg in, and their tongues seemed to have lost control, bobbing up and down. Hey, if this kind of creature comes into contact, the train will overturn immediately. Among the people who were looking at God, there were also a few who were rational. Zoro, cut it. Luffy was very calm. This fisherman is causing trouble. Zoro smiled confidently, holding 2 swords in his hands. If it's not sliced but cut, the cut of Luofei from it will only be a few dozen meters thick. The huge fat-headed Luofei was about to jump over the sea train, and the Susanoo on Kang dissipated quickly. Snort. He was preparing his momentum and combining his fishing skills. In the end, his opponent turned out to be Luofei, who was only about 300 meters tall and didn't know how high the sky was. He was proud of himself. Little Luofei, take care of it. After finishing his contempt, Kang lifted the 8 Gates Dunjia, and instantly felt powerless and dizzy. Poof. At this time, Kang fell towards the sea, and a mouthful of blood spurted out from him in the air. This is the backlash of overusing fishing techniques in Susanoo. It's over. Pretend to be big. You should be able to see it. Save me. Kang shouted in his heart. Just as Kang was about to be kissed into the water by Luofei, the voices of Luffy and Zoro came. Nadaru Ryu Ii, rubber, Rashomon. Life gun. At the moment when the fat-headed tilapia's huge body was about to touch the train, Zoro waved his double swords and released a sharp sword energy, dividing the tilapia into 3. Why 3? The delicious piece of fish in the middle has now been turned into sashimi. Luffy stretched out his arm and fired the rubber life-saving gun, accurately pulling Kang out from under the big fish. It was just a little bumpy when I came back, a few bumps and bumps. On the Rocketman at this time. Roar. Come to Pokémon Duel. I allow you to attack for 10 minutes first. Tweet. Get out of here, lousy. Stinky lion. Usopp looked at Kang's face that was swollen into a pig's head, covered his head and said negatively, it's over. Kang's head won't be damaged, right? Chopper can cure this disease, right? Luffy on the side turned his head away, pursed his lips, and whistled, pretending to be nonchalant. The arm has a broken bone, multiple soft tissue injuries on the upper body, and multiple wounds on the body are bleeding profusely. The head still needs sutures. Dr. Chopper's professional and excited voice came. Compared to Sanji who just lost blood, Kang's illness was much more serious. However, he soon became lost. It seems like it will take at least 2 or 3 days to recover, but what should Robin do? At the critical moment, Kang fell ill again. In this case, the trip to Judiciary Island would be without an important combat force. Everyone sighed, not knowing what expression they should use. Zoro was very dissatisfied with the leather-armored fisherman and frowned and said. Is there something wrong with this fishing guy's brain? What time is it now? He actually does such a thing. Why don't you feed it meat? If I eat meat, it will be better. As he said this, Luffy showed off his body animatedly and said some amazing quotes. You think everyone is the same pervert as you? Nami poked Luffy's face and said helplessly. At this time, a numbing voice sounded. Let me do it. Everyone turned to look at the source of the sound, and saw Arita walking over gracefully with her hands on her hips. The three boatmen clapped their hands and suddenly realized, yes, this woman is also a doctor. She cured Mr. Bingshan. Upon hearing this, Chopper hid behind Usopp with a look of vigilance and curiosity. Arita looked at the ups and downs of swelling on Kang's body and the bleeding and broken wounds, and pouted her sexy little mouth. Small wounds, body surface, and minor cosmetic surgeries are completely professional, which satisfies the conditions for Alita's ability to be activated. Open black lens bracket slippery channel close black lens bracket. As the slippery fruit's power was unleashed, the wounds, swelling, and scars all slipped away from Kang's body. After a while, Kang completely recovered from his trauma. He is still white and tender. Sigma degree hollow up pointing triangle degree underscore everyone had different expressions, including shock, confusion, and disbelief. Is this okay? What is the principle? You're pretty awesome. But Luffy and Zoro didn't feel anything at all. Zoro, who was originally wary of Arita, was relieved. After finishing everything, Arita said to Chopper, let's check it. How are you now? After a while, Chopper put down the stethoscope, the trauma seems to be gone. No more. Other problems are not serious. After saying that, he sat on the ground dejectedly. Under a spotlight, Chopper's life seemed to be a blur. Dark. Arita was confused. Then why hasn't he woke up yet? Maybe he's too tired, Chopper explained casually. I started 8 Gates Dunjia twice in a row in one day. After experiencing battles, fighting waves and fishing, it's no wonder I'm not tired. Usopp's weak, ignored background voice. Is it possible that it's a concussion? Huh, are you tired? Arita held her cheek and fell into thought. Usopp on the side said with sharp teeth, do you want to slide that thing away? It's impossible. Arita rolled her eyes at Usopp, do you think I'm an idiot? How can something like this slip away? Her ability must construct a channel. How to construct a channel with invisible things, she still doesn't know. If Kang could hear it, he would definitely say, sister. You should try it. Maybe it can be done. Sister Arita, please lend me a moment to speak. Nami twitched her fingers, as if asking for something. We also have something to ask you, Miss Arita. The two Moki sisters suddenly appeared beside her. Chapter 263 Waking Up, Arita's Choice. Qua. Damn it, I'm going to eat you. You stinky frog. In a daze, Kang was woken up by a burst of chaotic sounds. He felt his body. It looked like it was well treated. He was worthy of being the Straw Hat's ship's doctor. Fat-headed Luo Fei gave a total of 34 inches strong appointments of physical feedback. Kang's current physical condition is already in the upper 4s, and his physical condition has improved greatly, but his left eye has still not recovered. Can this eye recover? Just as Kang was about to get up, something suddenly occurred to him. I haven't woken up yet. I haven't woken up yet. 8 o'clock direction. Following the current, we will be back on track soon. Nami's voice reached Kang's ears again. Ah, did Kang move just now? Chopper looked puzzled, but someone narrowed his eyes. Whoosh. As a gust of fragrant wind passes by. A murderous aura is coming. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. This also brought a confused guy back to his senses instantly. Kang suddenly opened his eyes, and the shadow of an iron rod was reflected in his pupils, and the sharp wolf fangs almost touched his eyelashes. Call. At the moment when the tip of the mace was only 1 centimeter away from Kang's right eye, Arita suddenly stopped what she was doing. At this moment, the whole world seemed to freeze, and time stopped at this moment. Kang's breathing almost stopped, and he could even feel his heartbeat roaring like an overlord engine. You are indeed pretending to sleep. Cool D. Chicken. Arita's voice was a bit playful. Zoro withdrew the knife, Luffy stuffed the meat back, and the other's jaws dropped. It turns out to be one-stop flow big shock. Don't you have something to say to me? Say it, Arita said. This is the time to call for punishment. Wait a minute. Kang pointed at the mace. At this distance, he was afraid of the gun going off. Arita disagreed, and a charming and cold voice came. I think at this distance, what you said is more sensible. If I'm not satisfied, it will break with a bang. What do you think? Well, Arita is still as cruel as before. After all, we are all pirate allies for a week. Arita, rebel ally, aren't you afraid of being permanently blacklisted by the pirate camp? Let's talk in the cab. Is that okay? Kang said seriously. Arita looked at the crowd of people watching, finally put down the iron rod and turned around. Inside the cab, Kang is on pins and needles, what should I say? Waiting online, urgent. Arita narrowed her eyes and swung out the stick, full of threats. You can't explain why today, believe it or not, I will hit you. I may not be able to beat you now. Facing Arita's question, Kang looked at the beauty in front of him without changing his expression. You should do this, and I should die too. Question mark question mark question mark. I once had a sincere dream in my heart, but I didn't stick to it. As he spoke, Kang burst into tears and looked regretful. Exclamation mark. Dream. This. Faced with Kang's sad look, Arita was upset for a while, and even dared not look directly at him. You, what do you mean? What are you insisting on? I have become so beautiful now, I don't need it anymore. Besides, have you forgotten what you told me in Alabasta? Isn't it over already? Arita brought up the old story again. Kang closed his eyes and said sadly, "It is indeed over, so. I have always kept the promise. Don't lie to me." Arita's voice suddenly became sharp. "Then why do you continue to use my image in Albana? This tone makes it seem like if you don't speak well, you will smash the watermelon. Albana, good guy, let's settle old scores first. However, the conscience of heaven and earth. That was Shadow Clone's doing. Yes, and Zoro's fault too." Of course Kang couldn't say that. Kang sighed softly. "I promised you not to use your cute image anymore, but it's not my intention to always become what you were before inadvertently, because that was my dream when I went to sea. It was carved too deeply." The 8 trigrams, the straw hats who were eavesdropping outside the door, all took a sip, but when they thought about it, Kang seemed to have really said this dream. Usopp. Don't believe it. It's obviously fake. The French family, Foreman Carrera and other melon-eating guys talked a lot, feeling that the scene was embarrassing and a little greasy. The carving was too deep. So inadvertently, Arita was a little moved. Seeing Arita in a daze, Kang thought she didn't believe it and hurriedly swore to the lamp. "However, I can swear that apart from being too angry tonight, I haven't used your image recently. The image on the reward order must be the reason why I promised you to preach truth, goodness and beauty before." Arita looked at Kang's solemn look and couldn't help but feel a little relieved in her heart. Did I really misunderstand him? But she was still tough. "I believe you. You must have lied to me." Although Arita's words were sullen, her tone was so gentle. This change made Kang sweat like rain, thinking she was going to go crazy. "That's it. Give me another chance. I have a way to have both." Kang's mind was spinning rapidly and he came up with the ultimate move. "If you are willing, I can use your current image to cover up the true, kind and beautiful Arita in my heart. After all, no one can deny your current beauty." After finishing his flattery, Kang looked at Arita. Coverage and the like were all nonsense, but as long as it could solve the problem. After hearing this, Arita felt a burst of unknown anger in her heart. "Didn't you just say that you still want to stick to your dream?" These words made her feel that Kang was a naked betrayal. Betrayal of their dreams. That's right. They refer to the original Arita and Kang. Before getting the slippery fruit, Arita's dream was to become a great pirate and let the world recognize that Madara, who was full of sparrows and was born fat, was extremely beautiful. That's why what Kang said to her in Rog Town made her feel so deeply. It was something she had never felt before, the feeling of being cared for and cared about. She has clearly obtained the slippery fruit, and no longer needs anyone to prove it. She is disgusted on the surface but still wants to see Kang working hard for her former self. This is very contradictory. After all, she is her, and she is also her. When Arita went to Alabasta with a conflicted mind, she thought that Kang had betrayed his former self, which was why he burst out with such a will to destroy the world. Now, if what Kang said now is true, then Arita felt that she wanted Kang to give up his dream and the truth, goodness and beauty that Kang preached from the beginning to the end. So Kang chose to betray, and in a sense, she was the one who contributed to it. Does this count as a betrayal of myself? Arita thought with some annoyance after understanding the so-called cause and effect. Why does this man make me so conflicted? Faced with the choice given by Kang, who had betrayed his dream, Arita clenched her silver teeth, with a complicated light shining in her eyes. In the end, Arita just said lightly, "It's up to you. Just make your decision." Arita's reaction left Kang completely confused. "What do you mean? I decide. What do you mean by your angry tone?" Kang looks as stable as an old dog. In order to achieve perfect transformation, your body data needs to be measured manually. Faced with this unreasonable request, Arita's answer was, "Whatever you want." Then she took off the mace and spread her body towards Kang. Chapter 264 Can't forget the plan. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. How could this beauty Arita be deceived so easily? Usopp was writing and drawing in a small notebook, and he was astonished. The other melon eaters immediately exploded. Why? A certain LSP sat up in shock while dying of illness, pointing to the door in the direction of the cab. "Come out here, fisherman. I want to duel with you." Someone. "Hey, you guys, stop this idiot quickly. Don't disturb me watching the show. It's immoral. It's immoral." Barry blushed and his neck thickened. "Miss Arita, the transformation technique doesn't need to be like this at all." Sanji was covered by a group of people who were eating melons, and he roared in his heart. Inside the house, Arita. "Is it okay?" Kang. "But, it's okay." Kang made a gesture of forming a seal, but suddenly stopped, sweating profusely. "Arita. What's wrong?" I was thinking about a spell. I need to recite the spell before transforming. I don't know why my brain is so dizzy and I can't remember it." Kang explained. Kang's words were half true and half false. The halo was real, but as for the spell, it was really a lie. And the reason? Now whenever I want to become Alita, Albira will appear in my mind unconsciously, and Chakra will imitate this image involuntarily, just like a conditioned reflex. Is it really too deep? I can't change into such a beautiful woman. Quote. The perfect face in the haze slowly appeared. "Goodbye ugly duckling. I want to change my mind." Kang began to make random seals and recite spells, to stall for time. But someone was impatient. Arita waved her stick and Sharktooth said, "You're about to jump. B******************. D. What on earth are you doing?" Kang realized that he couldn't hold on any longer. His eyes were fixed on Arida's body. His eyes penetrated through the clothes, recalling every inch of her skin. Yes, I can certainly do it. Ninjutsu. Transformation technique. Bang. After a burst of smoke. Her skin is as fair as jade, and her waist is slender and flexible, like a finely crafted work of art. The plump breasts looked particularly well proportioned and harmonious under the striped bra, and every time they shook there was a hint of unruly and confidence. A pair of arms with smooth lines, wearing a few simple gold ornaments on the wrists, exuding charm with every gesture. It succeeded. Kang secretly rejoiced as he watched the transformation of his figure. So, he turned to look at the beautiful woman of the same style beside him. Arida's veins popped out, her eyes were about to burst, and the mace in her hand made a clicking sound. At this time, Arida didn't know whether to be happy or furious. What's wrong? Are you not satisfied? Aren't your breasts just a little bigger? Kang looked confused when facing Arida, who was erupting like a volcano. Hey, it's sunny out front. At this time, Kang suddenly looked in front of the train windshield. At this time, a white light appeared at the end of the sky. That was the island that never sleeps, City of Day, Judiciary Island. Etc. At this time, there was a beautiful silhouette reflected on the windshield. The moment Kang saw this reflection. Ghost. Kang's jaw dropped in shock, and his tongue kept rolling. I saw Alita doing the same action in the mirror, but on her slender neck. A big head with a baby face is embedded in it. This is the one she will never forget. It's a miracle that Kang actually has no sense of inconsistency with this image. You go to hell. Cool D. Kang. An involuntary surge of willpower came, and Kang was forced to cancel his transformation technique and run away. Sister. The conscience of heaven and earth. I can't forget. I really can't forget. You saw it. I tried my best. I can promise not to use your image again. Arida ran for 2 steps before suddenly stopping, her eyes as sharp as knives. P.S. I'll go first. An author who hasn't had cerebral thrombosis for 10 years can't write such a line. I promise I won't use it. Nami. The weather is clear ahead. Luffy poked his head out from the top of the car excitedly and shouted loudly. Immediately afterwards, what caught Luffy's eyes was, Nami was fighting Kang. Dwang. Kang was beaten until his nose was bruised and his face was swollen, and Nami threw him mercilessly next to Arida. Kang, who was beaten, only felt that his fist was so white. Nami, the initiator, now has smooth, white and shiny skin, as if she had undergone plastic surgery. Ha, eat everything inside and out. This guy is poisonous. We are all allies after all. As long as you can't kill him. Nami said. Anyway, the slippery fruit's ability is there, it just slips away if it's not a serious injury. Everyone was silent. These girls are so cruel. Snort. Bang, bang. Arida kicked Kang several times with great force, fully demonstrating the ferocity of the female pirate. Everyone was as silent as a cicada times 2, this B***ch is ruthless. It's great to be young, hiccup. Kokoluo, who was watching the fun and not taking it too seriously, said with emotion. After dealing with Kang, Arida turned to everyone and asked. It's sunny. Judicial Island is ahead. Do you have any plans? Seeing that everyone was starting to return to the normal main line, Barry didn't dare to say, immoral, anymore, put a drawing on the ground and said. Come and take a look at this. I've been here before to repair the track. This is a drawing that Barry drew from memory, and the entire layout of Judiciary Island is clearly presented on it. There is an iron fence around Judiciary Island, and the island is roughly divided into 4 areas. The front island main gate, the main island, front gate and courthouse, the Justice Tower, the Bridge of Hesitation, and the Gate of Justice located behind the island. There is only one central entrance on the island. After passing through the gate, you will see a circle of waterfalls. After passing through 2 gates, you can reach the trial house and reach the Justice Tower through the suspension bridge. Behind the Justice Tower is the Bridge of Hesitation. At the end of the bridge stands a door that reaches the sky, which is the legendary Gate of Justice. That's it. If they want to enter the Gate of Justice, they can only enter from the bridge behind the island. Barry explained the layout of the entire Justice Island in detail. What is that dark thing? Luffy pointed at the shadow on the map and asked curiously. Didn't I say that the black part is the waterfall? You will understand it after entering. After Barry answered, he continued. In short, if you can't rescue Nico, Robin and Frankie at the Gate of Justice, you will have no chance. At this time, members of the French family said, we are responsible for tearing down their gates. No matter how many enemies they have, you don't need to worry about us. Just leave it to us. You can concentrate on dealing with CP9. Everyone nodded, probably understanding. We were very close to Judiciary Island, and Usopp started to get ready. Ahem. Luffy. Chopper. Usopp is wearing a mask, with his hands folded, and powerful shoes on his feet. His bright red cape is swinging in the wind, and he looks particularly handsome. And his voice seemed much thicker than usual. Chapter 265 The Sniper King transforms into the Lord of the Sky. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. You, who are you? Luffy and Chopper were attracted by Usopp wearing a mask. At the same time, this image also attracted the curious eyes of others. Kang, who fell to the ground, was moved. Save me from fire and water, it's you who will save me at the critical moment. Sniper King. Usopp waved his hands, and the two spears in his hands changed like magic and merged into one long spear. The little inventor has made it happen. Must kill Banquet Star. Bang! A firework shot out from the barrel of the gun. As expected of the Banquet Minister, Tiano Bang regained his lost ability. I originally wanted to get along with you as an ordinary person, but I have no choice. I am the hero from Sniper Island, the Sniper King. With that said, Usopp kicked his feet and activated his secret weapon, the Breathing Wind Belvedere, and his whole body levitated into the sky, full of strength. After experiencing the 1072nd fall and a broken nose, Usopp was barely able to control the Power Rangers. Of course, it had to be in a windless environment, and the probability of face breaking was extremely high. Hero, so handsome. Chopper and Luffy's eyes shone with admiration. This is the profession Chopper wants to play, a hero. He feels that it is time to use up his large straw hat performance ticket. The first time I saw you wearing a cape, I knew you must be a hero. After Luffy finished speaking, he and Chopper looked at each other and confirmed what the other person thought. Luffy stretched out his hand nervously. Please give me some advice. Chopper took out a notebook and said, Hero, please sign it for me. When Usopp signed, Chopper asked, By the way, where is the Sniper Island? Faced with Chopper's silly question, Usopp's character was all here, and he replied seriously, it's in your hearts. Wow. After listening to Usopp's explanation, the golden light in Chopper and Luffy's eyes came out several meters away. This statement is really cool. Hey, Usopp, come on. Luffy, who turned to call Usopp, suddenly wondered, hey. Where did Usopp go? The people on the side looked at these two people like fools, as if to say, can't you recognize the long nose? Kong fell to the ground. Usopp, if you hold on for a while longer, I can escape soon. Idiot. This is Usopp. Nami's helpless voice came. These two guys were so embarrassing to her. Nani. Chopper and Luffy were shocked. It turns out that in order to give himself some psychological comfort, Usopp decided to use the identity of Sniper King to participate in the next action. After a while, Judiciary Island officially appeared in front of Luffy and others. Okay, then let's take the first step, said the French family and the three major boatmen. Then go as planned. Plan. Will they go according to plan? Kong glanced at Kong who was lying on the ground, and his eyes fell on Luffy. Whoosh. Under the dull gazes of everyone, Luffy stretched out his arm, and a rubber rocket disappeared. Good guy. Sure enough, I talked for a long time, but it was completely useless. The straw hats were already used to it, and Nami put the tweet on Zoro's head with ease. This is problem number 2, prevent it first. This scene immediately earned Sanji's ridicule, and the two started fighting, one on the left and the other on the right. Etc. Usopp pointed at Arida's feet, which was now empty. Kong is also missing. HMPH. A certain woman snorted coldly, as if she already knew it. What's going on with these people? The Water Capital group wanted to complain. They didn't have any seriousness before the battle. Above the sea, Kong fell into the sea, grinned, bit his fingers, and clapped his hands. Ninjutsu. Psychic technique. As chakra gushes out of the body like a tide, the curse seal continues to spread from Kang's hands to the surroundings. The sea water around Kong began to fluctuate violently, as if something huge was about to break out of the water. Boom. A huge snake that could cover the sky and the sun seemed to tear apart the space and suddenly appeared above the sea. As soon as the big snake appeared, it felt a different environment. First it roared in the sky angrily, and the terrifying sound spread in all directions. Do me a favor, Nolan. I need you, Kong said. A psychic beast like the Lord of Space is different from Mumu. You can't force it, you have to be patient and discuss it. Hiss. Don't worry, of course there will be no shortage of meat. Kong is very experienced in communicating with such a gluttonous guy. Nolan's eyes suddenly focused on the big frog on the head of the sea train and the two blue kings paddling in the water, and his saliva kept dripping. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. The strong corrosive liquid rolled down like water, and smoke rose from the sea water. Heng Gang on the train was so frightened that he almost wet his pants. Li Ji held his head and shivered, and the two blue kings even forgot how to swim. Animals. What are you going to do? Nolan. No spicy food. Kong jumped up, climbed on top of the Sky Lord, and began to form seals to extract chakra. Come on, Nolan. Kong looked towards Judiciary Island with sharp eyes. Robin, we're coming. On the train, seeing Nolan passing by at extremely fast speeds, the whole sea train was boiling. Kong actually summoned it. Zoro was surprised. He had personally experienced the terror of this guy. Lord of the Sky, it's the big snake on Sky Island. For Nami, who had been swallowed, she could still remember the experience in the snake's belly. It was the big snake that ate us. Woo, Sniper King. Chopper looked at the calm Sniper King, his eyes filled with stars. Is he the guy who was defeated by Usopp and exploded the bonfire drawing? I have defeated 10 different types of snakes of this level. Usopp opened his mouth. Sanji took a puff of his cigarette and said, anyway, since it was the fishing guy who did it, our high-end combat power is much higher, isn't it? You said. This is friendly forces. Others said in unison at this time. Amidst the chattering among the straw hats, they finally understood a little bit. What kind of monster is this ninja? Woo, Mochi is really inferior. This is the real animal trainer. If it's the Lord of the Sky, you don't have to leave. Luffy was not here, so Zoro took over the flag without hesitation and waved his hand and commanded. Follow up. Run over directly. Oh, times N. Chapter 266 The Majesty of the Sky, the Giant Attacks. Spandam's office. Lucci, Kaku, Werewolf Jabra, Bruno, Lion Natsutori, Pink Fur Otonashi Owl, Zippermouth Khalifa, Newcomer, Sea Weasel Nero, Sea Weasel Haha, and Hadley, the pigeon on Lucci's shoulder. Because of the handover of tasks, all members of CP9 happened to be gathered together. If a fisherman could see it, he might drool with envy again. Because at this time Khalifa and the others have basically recovered from their injuries, just like Luffy after eating food and Zoro after drinking alcohol. Dumb. What are you looking at? Gu. Look at you. Murkrow has a vengeance. If the master hadn't asked to keep a low profile, lousy would be you now. Dark Crow, Robin, and Frankie were all tied up and thrown on the cold ground. This is the main entrance. Call sir from the main entrance. Spandam was looking at Robin and Frankie in high spirits, and picked up the phone when he heard the call. What's wrong? Report sir. There is an intruder. Calm down, there's only one person, kill him. Sir, that intruder is Straw Hat Luffy with a bounty of 150 million. Exclamation mark. When they heard that Luffy had landed on Judiciary Island, the acquaintances in the room were stunned. They had just set foot on Judiciary Island, and this guy was already here. How did they catch up? It's so touching. The Straw Hat Kid actually broke into Justice Island for the two of us. Is this friendship? Frankie burst into tears. Calm down, why are so many of you afraid of him? Spangdam gave Frankie a hard fight and angrily shouted at the phone bug, report the current number of casualties immediately. A mere pirate dares to come to Judiciary Island. Who are you looking down on? 400. What 400? Say it again. Spandam didn't believe it. In just a short time, there were 400 casualties. The agent on the other end of the phone worm was avoiding stray bullets while observing carefully. Luffy just happened to use a punch that fell from the sky, rubber Hanabi, and cleared a large area. He hesitated for a moment and said to the phone bug. No. Correct. It's 5. Boom. A marine who was blown away by Luffy's fist instantly hit the agent who was reporting, which also caused his report to end with just this one word. 5 people. What? There were only 5 casualties. The proud Spandam looked at Robin who was looking thoughtful. Ha. Nicole Robin, your partner is really going to make me laugh to death. I came all the way to save you, but it only caused 5 casualties. Ha. I guess they are running away now. Facing Spandam's ridicule, Robin still pursed her lips and remained silent. She knew that it wasn't just Luffy who came, but everyone. Report, sir. A monster of unknown origin, a huge snake, is charging towards the main entrance. We need support. What? The station in front of the main entrance of Judiciary Island. What on earth is going on? An agent exclaimed, with disbelief in his voice. This is too big, there's no way to stop it. Another agent responded, his face full of despair. Their weapons hit the giant python, as if they were tickling it. Facing such a huge creature, they had no power to fight back. You must know Nolan's body. Even Zoro's slashes and Weber's laser cannons at the time of the empty island could not harm him at all, let alone ordinary swords, guns and artillery. There was a loud bang, and the fence surrounding Judiciary Island was crushed. Go and get Colonel T. Pen. We can't stop him, someone shouted. Well done, Orochi, Frankie's family. For Big Brother's sake, come to me. Oh, at the station opposite, a large marine force was watching all this. They were Captain T. Pen and his men, the captain of the marine headquarters who had just completed the escort mission and were preparing to return to the city. Snake-shaped Poseidon type. The Marines were shocked. They never imagined that Poseidon type would appear here. Fire! Fire quickly! The commander shouted. However, when they saw what was behind them, their eyes widened in surprise. Woo. Sea train. Forget about the sea train. What's going on with the cart of breadmen in front of it? Be careful. That's ship cutter T. Pen. He can cut ships like steaks. Zanbai shouted to Chi Kong in front of him, fearing that Nolan's charge artifact would be split into 2. Under the mask, Usopp swallowed, the same colonel as Smoker. Stop, you shameless pirates. T-Pen's voice echoed through the sky. Before he finished speaking, he had drawn his sword in his hand, and the sword pointed at it, showing his determination. Facing such a tough guy, Zoro on the roof of the car frowned. This kind of momentum, can the angler go there? At this time, T-Pen also recognized the red magic eyes on the snake's head. This is Nico Robin's partner. This road is the road to justice, and you cannot blaspheme it. I will cut you off. I saw him swinging his sword like the wind, drawing a sharp right angle in the air, and then releasing an invisible slash. The front end of the slash turned into a bird's head. This was a flying slash. Rectangular flying bird. Pen's big bird. Wind escape great breakthrough. The fierce wind met the flying slash, but the storm did not resist for long before it was split into 2 by Pen's slash. However, the wind escape also cut a lot of the slash, and the sharpness was sharply reduced. Hiss. There was a shallow bloodstain on Nolan's body, which also angered the Lord of the Sky. He suddenly rushed forward, and T-Pen vomited blood and sword. Ah, the colonel is defeated. The dignified colonel of the Marine headquarters, a swordsman who could release flying slashes, was actually hit by the Lord of the Sky's dump truck. Swordsman. Normal, iron cutting, flying slash, black sword, ahem, this is the classification of swordsman levels. Maybe T-Pen is a little stronger, but this guy can chop off fat-headed Luo Fei with a full blow to give him some face. In front of the main entrance of Judicial Island, there was a huge crowd. Kang stood on the snake's head and shouted to the dense crowd in front of him, "If you don't want to die, get out of the way. We can't let these guys rush in. Attack its eyes. For justice." Despite Kang's warning, the Marine soldiers who adhered to the belief of justice launched a charge without hesitation. They formed a wall of flesh and blood to block Nolan's face. This scene touched Kang's heart, but his eyes immediately became firm. Your determination is admirable, but we also have reasons to move forward. Whether it's justice or evil, it doesn't matter anymore, because Robin is waiting for them. Stop me. Die. Hiss. Perhaps feeling Kang's will, the Lord of the Sky suddenly accelerated and crashed towards the gate of the Judicial Island. Then, a huge dull sound spread throughout the Judiciary Island. Quick, quick, the main entrance to Judiciary Island has been breached. Pick up weapons and support the front gate of the main island. Agents came from all directions. Faced with this sudden attack, many people were awakened in the middle of the night. Although it is an island that never sleeps, there is also day and night in the concept of time. The Straw Hats arrived in the middle of the night, so it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say they were robbing the camp. Damn it, the other party is an invulnerable monster. Sir's order says that Oimo and Cassie can be awakened, and those two big guys can put their heads on top. When Kang and others advanced to the main island suspended above the huge hollow, what stood in front of them were two giant warriors about 20 meters tall. Fat Tutuo Oimo, thin Tutuo Cassie. Oh, you disturbed Oimo's sleep, you bastards, little ones. Oh, go back, otherwise Cassie will beat you to pieces. Hiss. Delicious meat. Nolan seemed to smell delicious prey, and his saliva dripped on the ground, instantly corroding it into a scorched black spot. As giants, Oimo and Cassie looked at the snake's head coiled up, which was several times taller than them, and fell into deep thought. But they are a great warrior clan, and they also have reasons to fight. The two giant warriors roared while striding towards the Lord of the Sky.